So I got more to add about this Tony guy. So I didn't really meet this guy, like actually physically meet him, other than that one brief time I saw him the first year I was here. But I tried to be his friend, actually. Um, so a couple years after I get here, I finally get the opportunity to invite him over, and I invited him over to have a couple beers. So the guy walks in the door, and he sits down, and the first thing that comes out of his mouth is, "Keep your friends close and your enemies closer." So that registered with me, but I just kind of played dumb. Um, and he smokes weed. I smoke weed. I used to. Um, so we kind of had that in common. But yeah, he so he so the whole time he's trying to read me. He's trying to milk information out of me. I'm doing the same thing, just kind of playing along with him. Um, so one day I go out and I try to start my truck. Well, the battery's dead, and it was one of those days. Remember, I was talking about how I walk out the door and all of a sudden he's coming down the fucking road. It was one of those days. So he's playing fucking stupid and being fake and acting like he's trying to help me when really he knows that my battery's fucked because he put a fucking metal rod on it and shorted it out. He already knew this, but he was just being fake, pretending to be helpful, you know, in the back of his mind laughing his ass off. So so I had no way to get to the fucking auto parts store to get a new battery. I had shit to do that day. Um, I didn't feel like fucking around. So I called the auto parts store and I had them deliver me a battery. Well, I live right by the back gate. That's where I usually have everybody go to. For some reason, he says, "Well, just have them deliver it to the front gate. It'll be easier." I said, "Oh, okay, whatever." So he gives me a ride down to the front gate. Now, the fucking front gate is fucking miles away from where I live, up a big fucking huge hill. The back gate's 500 feet from my place. So he gives me a ride down to the front gate uh, to wait for the guy that's going to deliver the battery. So we get down there, and he says, "Well, I got something to do. I'll be right back. Um, you just stand here and wait for the battery." So I say, "What? Well, whatever." I get out of the fucking truck. He's got a Jeep. I get out of the Jeep, and he goes off and he does his thing. The guy with the battery comes, shows up, brings the battery. Um, Tony never came back down to get me. Luckily, the guy that delivered the battery was nice enough to give me a ride back up the fucking hill to get back to my place. But yeah, he didn't plan on ever coming back down to get me. Um, he's been trying to get me to move. He's been creating all these problems because he doesn't want me here. Um, it's a fucking jealousy thing. He's I don't know exactly what it is. Maybe he thinks I'm spoiled or whatever because he doesn't have parents or um, really he doesn't know shit about me or my family history or what my parents uh, have done. Um, What else? So we hang out a few times or whatever. I ordered a bunch of firewood. I had a shitload of firewood here, and there was some of it that was too long to fit in my wood burner, and I didn't feel like cutting it again to get it small enough to fit in my wood burner. So I said, "Well, fuck it. I'll give it to Tony." So I gave him probably a fucking at least a couple ricks of good firewood for nothing, just for free, no strings attached. All he had to do was get it off my property. I was trying to get all there. I had fucking firewood stacked up in the front, and people were bitching about that. So I decided I wanted to move it all to the back, and that way I didn't have to cut it or I didn't have to move it. So I said, "Why don't you just take it?" It was good wood. I let him have all this firewood for nothing. Um, I don't know. This guy's he's a problem. He's a menace to fucking October Hill. I'll tell you what. Because him causing all this trouble for me has caused a tremendous amount of problems for the park. So really, these people here shouldn't be upset with me. They should be upset with him. He's a troublemaker, and he needs to go to prison. That's my prediction.